What is up, guys? Welcome to my trailer breakdown for Arrow Season 6, Episode 22, titled The Ties That Bind, which is the second to last episode of the season, or the penultimate episode of Season 6. And the last couple episodes, ever since Episode 17, have all been really great. Not a single one of them went under 9 when I scored them in my episode reviews. So I am definitely excited for this episode. But before I get into the trailer breakdown, make sure to follow me on Twitter. Link is in the description for better daily updates on my videos, as well as daily polls on the Arrowverse. With that in mind, though, let's watch the trailer for the episode.
I had a plan. Killing Oliver Queen and everyone he cares about.
As the Green Arrow, I have gone up against some terrible people. But this guy's got an army.
Arrow, all new this Thursday at 9/8 Central on the CW.
We see at the beginning of the trailer that Diaz says he's going to kill Oliver Queen and his family, and we saw the reason he's doing that is because his first plan of putting Oliver Queen in jail and ruining his reputation, I think that's what he was going to do, was ruined when Laurel betrayed him and lied in court, saying that she thinks that Tommy Merlin is the Green Arrow. I didn't get why he didn't kill her, but that's the reason he's going after Oliver Queen in this episode, is because this is his plan B, and it says that in the synopsis as well. He's going after Oliver Queen and his family, and honestly, I would not mind it if he succeeds in going after his family. Not Oliver Queen, and not even William either, just Felicity. I think that would be a great 20-second, a great penultimate episode to the season, or maybe even a season finale. But honestly, just looking at it, this penultimate episode doesn't really feel like the end of the season, because it's just the main villain going after the main hero's family. I mean, it's something, but there's no real big plan, which I guess there doesn't need to be for the villain. Like, he could just be. I think it is a cool idea that the idea is the villain already succeeded, and what the hero has to do is to get back what the villain took from him. So I think that is a cool idea, which is why Diaz doesn't have to have a big plan at this point, because I guess he already succeeded in what he was trying to accomplish, which was to take over the city. And granted, he has another plan of taking over the country, but that doesn't feel like much. So I guess even though it doesn't feel like there's no big plan with every other season main villain had, it's a fresh idea. It's a fresh take on the last couple episodes of the season, and I am still very excited for this episode, especially if Diaz succeeds in what he's going after, which is killing Oliver's family. Maybe not William, though. So, I actually misspoke. I said that Diaz is going after Oliver's family, but he's actually not. Just going after everybody he cares about. When I say just, I mean also going after everybody he cares about, meaning not just his family, but also his teammates, his former teammates, and probably newly, they're probably teammates again at this point. Maybe there will be in Season 7, as in the new Team Arrow, Black Canary, Mr. Terrific, and Wild Dog, as well as Diggle and Quentin, maybe, and Laurel probably, and just everybody, every main character who is, I guess every main character is a good guy, or a girl, but so I kind of misspoke, and that will probably be the main, storyline of the episode, and I don't really see there being any other storyline. It probably will be the only storyline of the episode. It's good, but the thing is, there are a lot of characters surrounding Oliver Queen that Diaz has to go after, so it would be a little weird if nobody dies. Which is why I think somebody actually might die in this episode. Usually the deaths that I can remember are around now, like in between episodes 17 and 23 are where all the big season deaths happen each season. Like in Season 1 it was 23 with Tommy, in Season 2 it was I think 20 with Moira, in Season 3 it was nobody, but in Season 4 it was Laurel with 18, I think. In Season 20, in Season 5, I mean, it was the island, which not a lot of people died, but that was in the 23rd episode. And granted, no character or no big character has died in the 22nd episode on Arrow so far. But I mean, that doesn't mean it doesn't mean it's not gonna happen. Most season deaths, like I said, happen between episode 18 or 17 and 23, and the character that will die, or that I think might die in this episode, is Quentin Lance, because Paul Blackthorne is not returning for season 7 as a series regular, which means that the only season 1 characters, the only season 1 season regulars that will be returning in season 7, as far as I know, and maybe one of them might die before the next season, but the only series regulars that are returning are Oliver Queen and John Diggle. There are other season 1 characters like Felicity and Roy that are returning probably, but Felicity is probably. But they were not series regulars in season 1, so the show has really switched around its cast since then, with only Diggle and Oliver staying as series regulars since then. But Paul Blackthorne is leaving the show, so that means that Quentin will probably almost definitely die in either episode 22 or episode 23, and I think it would be a little weird if Diaz goes after everyone that Oliver cares about and none of them get killed. And I think the one that will get killed, like I said, because of all those reasons, because of that, and because of the fact that Paul Blackthorne is not returning for season 7, he will almost definitely die in this episode. But there is also a chance he will survive this episode and make it to episode 23. But I definitely think he will die in one of the 2 episodes, which might lead to something to do with Black Siren. The second line from the trailer is Oliver Queen saying that as the Green Arrow, he went up against a lot of people, but as to say that Diaz is different, he has an army, as in Diaz has an army. That kind of bugs me because you saw every single season, except for season 1 and 5, the main villain has had an army. Malcolm Merlin in season 1 did not have an army, it was just him by himself, but Slade Wilson had an army. He had the Mirakuru soldiers, and that was a big part of the season 2 finale, and a couple episodes before that. Then there was Ra's al Ghul, who had the League of Assassins, which is technically an army. It's not really an army per se, but it is enough people, like just like the Mirakuru soldiers, and just like Diaz's army. And then in season 4, before that it was still accurate because he wasn't the Green Arrow yet, so I guess this line would still be accurate. But season 4 happened, and which is something that I don't really like to admit, but it does kind of disprove his point. When Damien Dark had an army, he had the Ghost. So as the Green Arrow, he went up against one villain with an army, and then there was Agent Chase, who had a group of supervillains in the season finale. Didn't really have an army, but before that, as the Green Arrow, he went up against Damien Dark, who had an army, and then before he was the Green Arrow, as the Arrow, which I guess isn't what he's talking about, but I mean, come on, I don't think that's what he means. I don't think he means the Green Arrow, I just think he means as a vigilante. So there was season 2 and 3 as well, so this line kind of bugs me, and I think that will actually be paid off in the episode. I feel like he will say that to somebody, and I'd wager it's probably Felicity, and Felicity will reply with saying like something like, "So what? You gone against other villains who had an army like Slade Wilson, Ra's al Ghul, and Damien Dark." I'm pretty sure she's probably going to say that, or another character might say that. And if nobody says that, that will be a little annoying because it's not a very good argument. I mean, it kind of makes Oliver feel a little like lost, like a little stupid at that moment. But at least, like, if somebody replies to him saying, "So what? You've gone up against other people with armies," that would be a good reply. But I'm pretty sure it's gonna be Felicity. I feel like that's something that the writers would give her to say, and I'm not complaining either. I mean, it's a good line coming from anyone. So in the promotional photos, we see Team Arrow is working together again. Black Canary, Wild Dog, and Mr. Terrific are working together with Spartan, as well as Green Arrow and Overwatch, which is a cool thing to see, but it kind of throws away what Oliver Queen learned in episode 18, which was titled Fundamentals, which was the best episode of the season. And what he learned then is that he needs to get back to basics, which is what the episode was originally going to be called, and work by himself. And it seems like they said that, but then they kind of threw that away with the fact that Renee and Oliver made amends, which I thought was a great moment, and it was a very satisfying moment. But it also made sense, but it didn't really work with what Oliver learned in episode 18. Not the fact that they made amends, but the fact that they're working together again as a team doesn't really work with what he learned in that episode, which was, like I said, going back to basics, working by yourself. And it seems like he's not doing that in any episode past that, which is, well, he wasn't in 19, and he was in 19, but barely, and in that episode, he was working by himself. In episode 20, I don't really remember if he was working by himself in episode 20, but it was just 2 episodes of the Green Arrow working by himself, because episode 21, Green Arrow never showed up, or he did, but that was Tommy Merlin, aka Human Torch, and Oliver Queen never showed up as a Green Arrow, and now then in episode 22, which is this episode, it seems like he's working with Team Arrow again. So it is weird how they did that. They had Oliver Queen have this big revelation of how he needs to go back to working by himself, but like 3 episodes later, he gets back with the team. But I guess it probably might just be a coincidence that they're working together, because they were all attacked by the same people, so they come together by mistake and just fight alongside each other, which is cool, and that's all fine and all, but I do hope they wait to bring the team back together until season 7, maybe even the beginning, and maybe with a smaller team, maybe with some characters leaving the show, maybe with some characters dying other than Quentin, because even though it is cool to see a team, I like the fact that this is a Team Arrow, but it was always too big ever since season 5, so they should probably trim it down a little bit. But anyway, let me know what you thought about the trailer in the comments down below, and let me know what you think about any of the points I made in this video, and as always, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and thanks for watching.